My name is Rochelle Manley, and I am a consultant for NWOET, a nonprofit that travels around to school districts in Northwest Ohio doing professional development on how to use technology. This is one of the videos in a series on Google Classroom integration. In the previous videos in this series, we have covered the parts of the stream, the classwork view, and its options, and using a classroom filing cabinet as a staging area for your assignments. In this video, we will explore the teacher view of the classroom versus the student view. My goal for this video is to show you why it is important to properly use the classwork area of Classroom for assigning your work to the students. Only use the announcement area to communicate with your students, and I hope this will show you why. Let's look at, I have two different teachers here, and I have their two classrooms open for a student. So teacher A uses her stream for all of her assignments. So a student, whenever she's doing it, there's no way to organize, not a student, sorry, a teacher. If they use the stream for everything, there's no way to reorder it as there is if I go into the other classroom and go into their classwork. I can reorder these messages if I want, or I can reorder whole areas, topics. So I could actually reorder these topics and put them in a different order. So there's actually some control here of being able to make it easier to use for the student. So this is teacher A's classroom, or their stream. So let's look at the student view of this stream. So if I'm a student and I'm trying to go through here and find everything, it's hard to do. I scroll down to the bottom. You can see that here's a morning announcement. There's a reminder for a movie. There's a pep rally coming up. Oh, here's an assignment that I actually have to do. So your assignment today is to do a video reflection. Okay, so I'm going to have to go into Google Docs and open something up and send it to the teacher. Now, that's okay, but my problem from a student perspective of that is if I am teacher A and I have created this assignment, it's right here. If I've created this assignment, if your school district is not using the grading aspect in Classroom, if you're using an outside source like Progress Book or PowerSchool, you make this assignment, you open up another tab and have PowerSchool or Progress Book open, and you create it as a graded assignment. A student is not going to know if this is a missing assignment until Progress Book or PowerSchool alerts them that it's missing, or alerts their parents that it's missing, because there's no functionality with this with the up and coming or the to-do list. So if I look as a student and I go into my classwork, it doesn't look like I have anything due. So if everything is on the stream, it's really hard to know what is an assignment, what's an announcement. And I know we want our students to read everything in detail, but a lot of times they're just skimming things. So when you use the stream for all of your assignments, it makes it difficult for the student. Now, let's look at this 4th grade reading class, and we'll look at the student view of it. So this is the classroom that I've used in the previous videos. So you'll see that all of my topics are organized. It has the emojis to help have everything neat and tidy. You might be able to use the emojis you would be able to use the emojis on the stream, but I think it would still make it difficult, and it doesn't utilize the to-do list, which in my opinion is one of the great features of Google Classroom. So if we look at the student view, the student stream in this 4th grade reading is very clean. The teacher has kept everything in the classwork area, so this is just going to be used for announcements for them. If I click in my classwork area as a student, I can see everything that is organized. Now, I can also go to my to-do list and see the things in there. You'll notice that the to-do list is also color-coded by the classes. So I've got some things that are due tomorrow, some things due later. I think this makes it much easier when they can actually utilize their to-do list. If I also go to the classroom view again and go to classwork, I can look at my calendar here, and I can see when things are due on my calendar. If I close out of this calendar and go to Teacher A's, that stuff is not going to show up on the calendar. So being able to look at the different views of the classroom, this one looks like I have no work due if I look at my classwork. This one I have things that I need to be doing. Okay, so that's very important to realize that using the stream is not the best choice because it does not show up in the when you're using the classwork, it shows up in multiple places. Not only is it here, it's if I look at my classroom view, my classes, if I go here, it's got my upcoming assignments. Classroom A will never have that, or Teacher A will never have that. So things will show up here, things will show up on the calendar. So it's harder for a student to miss an assignment if you're using the classwork area to actually do it, to do your assignments. So I also wanted to point out, let's look at, we'll go back to Teacher A. So Teacher A had this assignment. They wanted you to do a Google Doc. If I go into my 4th grade reading, and I scroll down, here is my video reflection assignment here. If I click on it, you'll notice that it's really the exact same. I'll click back real quick. Teacher A wants you to do a 2-paragraph long response. It tells you about the 3 to 5 sentence minimum. And when it's complete, this Teacher A wants you to share it with them. If I go into here, it must be 2 paragraphs long, 3 to 5 sentence minimum. When you complete it, remember to click on Mark as Done. So the student can actually go in and mark it as done. Now, you'll notice that I actually have a reflection paper attached to this. If we open that up, it gives us these directions at the top, and it's ready to go. Now, let's go look at that from a student view. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. If I look at that same assignment, it's under video reflection from the student view. So go to classwork, go down to video reflection. If I click on that, I can go into this. When I'm done with it, I can share it, and it's going to go to my teacher. And then I can go in when that's done and turn it in. So I can view my assignment. This one's already been turned in because I used it as a test for something else, but you can unsubmit, or the student can unsubmit, and it's back in. So once I'm done with this, I can mark it as done, and not only do I know that it's done, but the teacher has received it and she knows it's done. All right, let's go back to our class Teacher A again. I wanted to show you. I wanted to do this one for a reason. This one has that you can see this is chapter 1. They want you to listen to A Boy Named Bat. It's actually a boy called Bat, sorry. I typed that wrong. But here is your chapter 1 and 2, 3 and 4. You notice that if you title them correctly, it's going to be in order. But I also wanted to show you another option for that. before I ended this video. If I go into 4th grade work and I come up, if I go down to a boy called Bat, I wanted to show you 2 different ways in classwork that you can actually do this. Now, if I click here, you'll see that I have actually, I'm going to edit this just so you can see what I've done. I added all of these as a link. So I added, and then I did a link, and then I pasted the link in. So this is a way to include the links. And if I look at the student view of that, here's the one with the links. It shows up like this. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, or 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 9. Okay, so that is the student view of that. If I go back over here, I'm going to X out of this, and I want to show you the embedded version. This, opening it up in the student view, I just copied and pasted, so you can see that it's here. You can do this either way. You can do the links, or you can do, if they click on this, it's going to take them right to the correct view also, or the correct site also. Okay, so this is the same link as up in here, but it's just 2 different ways of doing it. It's really your preference. Do you like to see the links like this that the kid can click on, or that the student can click on? Or would you rather it be like this so that they can click on it there? So to sum up what I've covered here, for your stream, you want to put things that you need to tell your class, such as morning announcements, shoutouts, reminders. You don't want to use it for things like homework that you expect them to turn in, resources that the student will need again and again because they're not going to be able to find it, or quizzes and tests. Think of the stream as more of a social area, like Facebook, but without the search features. If you saw something yesterday on Facebook, chances are you are never going to be able to find it again. So that's more of what the stream is. For your assignments, quiz assignments, and questions, these are used when you want your student to do something. They need to take an action. It allows them to go in when they're finished with the assignment and click on Mark as Done to submit the assignment to you. If you just want the student to be able to have a reference material area, that's more your materials. That's when you would put in a material up on your class, on your classwork area. So materials are just references. So let's go back real quick. So things that you do want to put in materials, it's reference material area. So things like your syllabus, your class rules, so that they can refer back to those, links to websites, that a boy called Bat I might put in as a material area, or it was put in as material, because I want my students to be able to have that later on. So it is, if you look here, like this is a quiz, it's got the question mark, these are assignments, or quiz assignments. If I go up to a boy called Bat, you'll notice that I put those in as material links because I want them to be able to have that later. So maybe they're listening to it now to do their homework, but later on maybe they'll want to go back and listen to that at a later time just for more enjoyment. So materials do not show up in the to-do list, but the quiz assignments, and questions do. So hopefully that clears up why you want to use your class work area and assignment, or to give assignments and materials to your students versus using your stream. And I hope that also clears up using assignments, quiz assignments, and questions for things that you want graded, or you want to grade, and the material area is just as a reference area for them. So the material area is more like the library area that they can go back and check out books and reread it.